This is such a pleasure. Welcome to On the Road to Rock, Derek and Franco from Classless Act, a band that I'm such a fan of, guys. I saw you back in LA. In fact, I have a negative connotation that comes with Classless Act. No, it wasn't your blistering set at SoFi Stadium that I associate with you guys. It's the $21 beers at SoFi Stadium that I was buying as you guys started playing that I associate with you guys. So I'm still hurting in the pocketbook from that.
$21, man. That's insane, dude.
That's a lot of moolah.
That's like a 112 pack, dude.
I'm from the Midwest, man. You could go get like a PBR for $2 down the street here. So I'm like that shook me a little bit. But my goodness, what an act! You guys, where are you guys at right now? What city?
We're in
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, we're like in New Asbury Park.
Okay, you know a tour has gone really well when you're not sure where you are. That's how I feel about it. You guys, this is just a tremendous pleasure to have you on. I did see you guys opening at the stadium tour in Los Angeles. It was absolutely tremendous. Was that show kind of extra special for you guys, kind of as an LA based band, that SoFi Stadium? It was sold out. SoFi's beautiful.
Oh man, it was a beautiful moment. I mean, we all our friends were there. Bands that we play with were there. And it's home base, and it was not at the end of the tour either, so it was hard to leave. Actually, we were home for just a minute, and then we had to keep touring. But it was wonderful. It was just like a cool, and I've always wanted to play there. We've always wanted to play there, so it's like cool. One dream stadium down.
It was great. Yeah. So I had tickets for that for like 2 years. You know, it was a destination. You know, of course you guys played here in Kansas City. By the way, it was the hottest day of the year here in the Midwest. Sorry about that. But I wanted that LA show was special. Motley Crue, an LA band, Poison, an LA based band. You guys, that one was extra special. It was great to be there. SoFi's amazing. The tour for you guys, for Franco, for you, you could use any hyperbole you want when it comes to what that was like for you guys. You guys have done a million interviews. You've talked about it. It was great. It was fantastic. But when you go back to it and you think back on it, does it seem almost like a dream, Franco, that took place?
It's definitely surreal, you know. Like if I don't see pictures of it, I wouldn't be sure that it happened, you know. In fact, prior, one month prior to the tour to begin, I kept calling my manager asking if it was really gonna happen, because it also got delayed twice, 2 years in a row or something like that, and I wasn't sure, so I just want to triple check every day, pretty much. I call him and it's like, is it going on?
Yeah.
And you guys lived up. You guys were great. It was tremendous, a tremendous set, a great way to open the show. So for you guys now, you guys are on a tour now that's kind of this a winter run that you guys are doing that will culminate, I believe, on New Year's Eve. So what's it been like, Derek, to run through that tour, a summer of just unbelievable memories, I'm sure, and now you guys back on the road and back to doing kind of the smaller venues, but getting closer to the fans and playing a longer set. That's important too, is on this tour, playing a longer set and, getting more of your songs out there. So it's been kind of an interesting dichotomy here.
Yeah, it's so fun. This tour is so fun. I don't know what it is. It's a little tougher in its own way too, because, it is a longer set. There's more endurance involved and more thought put into it, and you switch things up to feel out different crowds maybe, and so it's a lot of that. And it's cold as hell, so yeah. So this is a little tougher in a way, but man, it's just still so fun. It's good to just be constantly reminded how fun the road is. So it's just fun stuff.
Franco, for you, I heard that you're a big soccer fan. You're from Argentina, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've looked ahead here. We have sort of a scheduling conflict, and I think you know where I'm going with this. December 18th, Argentina will play in the World Cup final against France, and you guys have a show that day, but I think it's the game's in the morning, so
yeah,
right?
I think the game is at 10 or 11 a.m. Whatever it is, man, if it's on a show, I put it on the side of the stage and still watch
it.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like we cover sports here a lot. So American football here, I'm a big Chiefs fan. So like if the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl during, I would have to miss it. Like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, it's like my number one. So at least you don't have to worry about that. You guys got it in the morning, although it's going to be an early wake up call. You guys might be going hard the night before.
I don't care, man. If I don't have to sleep, I'll still be there watching it, man. I'm waiting 40 years for this, so it's gonna be great. I don't know who's gonna win, but I'm just happy to be in the finals.
Well, that's a great attitude. Derek, are you a sports fan at all? Did you have any teams you followed growing up, or is it just all about the music, man?
It's more about the music for me, but I do love soccer a bit.
Okay.
I always watch the World Cup and stuff. I watch like the major games and stuff. So
okay.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm from LA, so you gotta be.
Well, that's
Chucky is too. My drummer is a big Dodgers fan too.
Well, you got to cheer for your buddy Franco here for Argentina too coming up. You got to do it.
Yeah.
They're all very supportive of my soccer.
Well, okay, so Griffin Tucker's in your band.
Yeah.
Griffin Tucker's in Classless Act. Now we had him on like when he was just starting out a few years ago. What's the dynamic like? You guys kind of all met on. You guys have a great management team, and the way they word things is ironic and hilarious and very enthralling to me. But you guys kind of all met on social media, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, though. Right. It was like a process of years. I think it's kind of normal nowadays, anyway. It's like making a new friend, but we were just like. It took time because we were trying to find the right pieces, like there were like other past members as well. And, in the end, we really got lucky, especially with Griffin, So, yeah, it was much like that. The only one we knew in person was the drummer, Chuck. We stole it from his other band.
Wonderful.
But yeah, honestly, the other people, we met through social media. We're kind of fans of each other a little bit, So it did happen like that, but it took like a couple of years for sure.
And I'm assuming Dane probably couldn't join this morning because he's down at the hotel gym right now. Correct? I mean, he's probably up at 7 a.m. in the gym. I get it.
No, he was sleeping. I just saw him.
Yeah. That's a good guess, though. He usually is in the gym. Yeah.
After the shows.
Yeah.
Makes you want to kill him.
Well, yeah. Okay. So you guys, Derek released your debut album, Welcome to the Show, back in June. Did it at times, because you guys kind of formed, if my timeline's correct, kind of right pre-COVID, and then the shit's going on, and we all know that story. We usually don't like to use that word here on the show, and now I've done it. Now I'm pissed at myself. So, but you guys were formed around that time, and then the album comes out in summer of 2022. Was there ever a time where it felt like that there was pauses, that this just wasn't going to happen because of how the state of the world was, and how gratifying was it when the album finally comes out to the reception that it got, which was tremendous?
Oh man, that was a huge thing. I think with every band in the world. We were like all mad, and a lot of the music was written out of that feeling. Actually, there's a lot of that stuff. Like if you listen to the album, there's like "This is for you" and "Give it to me." Ultimately, it's about like wanting to be a part of music and in the world, and be in a moving world again. So a spinning earth, you could say. So yeah, I mean, and then so when it finally did come out, we had the whole thing recorded under our belts for about a year already. So like we were just like, all right, cool, like great. And then we went straight on tour, and I mean, yeah, we were really super happy, and we're so happy, in fact, that we're really just going to be pushing this album for the next year. We're writing constantly, and we might release some loose singles here and there, but we love this album. We put our whole lives into this first album. So like, we just want to make sure everyone around the earth hears it. So we're just stoked on life on that.
So I like bands that have a title track, based on their name. So meaning like Iron Maiden has Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath has Black Sabbath, Classless Act has Classless Act. Franco, Vince Neil kind of guests on that deal. How did that come about? Because was that like before, obviously, the tour? I think the video came out like obviously before the tour even started there. So
No, I think
Right during it. During it?
I don't know, a week before.
It was right around the time, June.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was a week before the tour
Okay.
started, or a week in. I don't know, something like that.
So you'd already kind of hooked up, and he must have liked you guys enough to do that. That's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, we reached to him because, well, we were obviously in the tour by then, right? But also, half of the album was recorded at Tommy Lee's studio.
Sons, yeah.
That's kind of like how we got the in a little bit, you know. We were like, well, might as well try to reach the beans, you know, and see what happens, because you know that song has some certain Motley Crue feeling a little bit, you know. And he said yes, man. And he sent it like overnight, and we put it together, and there you go.
Man, simple as that. God, I wonder.
I mean, of course, we're blessed and we're lucky and everything,
Yeah.
right? But you know, it happened.
Do you? I mean, you guys have such a frenetic pace and energy to your music, and it just exudes. The videos really, the visuals. I like visuals, man. I'm a visual guy. I grew up watching, listening to Wasp and Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden and Motley Crue. So I like visuals. Your guys' visuals just exude, and the energy is there. The music is there. I think that album that you've now kind of come in and done some acoustic versions of those songs, which is very interesting. Derek, how did that come about? Because this album is so in your face and so hard driving, but it relates so well to the acoustic side. And now you've done some versions of that. How did that come about?
Oh man, we just came off tour. I don't know which tour. Because this is, I'm not sure, but
it's all a blur, guys. I can tell. I just know it.
Before Dorothy, yeah. Oh, maybe it was right before our first tour, actually. Never mind. But we just wanted to just make like, it was just for fun. It was an experiment. This band is very experimental, so we like to, with writing and recording, we always try to try new things, and I think that's kind of a key element in breaking through these days with your music. You got to try something different, and so we were just like, that's just, the whole thing was recorded. We wanted to see what it sounded like in a different light, and with a couple of string boxes, and see how it feels. Because dynamic, a lot of the songs we picked as singles is what we did on acoustic, and we realized we picked those songs because they really well represent the band as a whole, and they kind of summarize us pretty well. And they're kind of stories. Each one has their own little story, and they talk about the band and during the pandemic and all of that stuff. So and forming the band kind of. So it was cool to tell that story a little more clearly with more dynamic, and I think that's what we wanted to do.
Okay, yeah. It's the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert at the Forum, and I look at some footage and I said, "There's Justin Hawkins up on stage playing with Nikki Sixx and the guys from Foo Fighters." It was not Justin Hawkins; it was you. Okay, yeah. So that, just my initial reaction is like, "There's Justin Hawkins up there," and it was you, and it blew my mind because I'm like, "That's the singer from Classless Act." How did that come about? And because I heard later on that it was like, this is the last second. It was supposed to be someone else, not Justin Hawkins, but someone else, and then it was you. Incredible, and you did an incredible job doing Live Wire and some song. How the hell did that happen?
That's pretty much it. It was a last minute thing. They called me the day before, and I did a quick rehearsal with them, and went to bed early, so I was rested and did it. And I don't know. I mean, it was just I think Tommy and Nikki remembered. They were like, "Oh yeah, we went on tour with those guys like a week ago."
Yeah,
maybe he knows the lyrics, maybe. So, and they've been asking everybody. They were asking like Miley and like Pink and everybody, like, "Do you know these songs?" And they're like, "Yeah, but I don't want to ruin it because that's not like, I don't know it well." They were like being really respectful of it. And so, but then when they asked me, I was like, "Yeah, I know every lyric of every song. I just love you guys, and I watched you 36 times in a row. Like, I've just been watching you guys play these songs." And they're like, "All right, well, yeah, come try it out." And when I was supposed to do just one too.
Yeah.
And then I remember after doing the first song, I ran up to their tour manager, the Foo's tour manager. And I was like, "Oh, is that it?" He's like, "No, do the other one." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And so it was like this crazy, very last minute moment of my life. But I remember every minute of it. And you get to just meet all those cool people backstage, everyone that played on the stage there.
It was like the biggest thing that came from the most recordable moment, the most thing that you saw on the internet. And is it weird to you that some idiot out there was initial reaction that it was Justin Hawkins from The Darkness? Or is that a compliment? I don't know.
That's the biggest compliment I could ever ask for. Because Justin is a mastermind. He's a genius. I mean, he's the coolest. And he was one of the guys that also like reminded Nikki, like, oh, well, don't forget about Derek Day from Classless Act.
Oh, okay. So this random So this random connection that I made in my lizard brain has some merit to it. Basically, that's makes me feel better about making the mistake.
Absolutely. No, and it's even then I wish I was Justin Hawkins.
I was like, dude, that kid, his hair's not that long. I watch his like YouTube channel. I'm like, his hair isn't as long. Oh, it's Derek Day. Wow, that's just awesome. Isn't it weird? Like the world, just something about music and the way that it unites people and the way that, the 6 degrees of separation from, I don't know, something about it just blows me away. And all the musicians we've interviewed over the years, it's like, it's all connected. It's all wonderful. And you guys are now a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Music is the original language, man.
That is very meaningful. Guys, I got to bring this up because December 21st here on this tour, you're going to be sort of in my neck of the woods. Now, a little geography lesson. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, on the Missouri side. You guys are going to be playing in Lawrence, Kansas, which is kind of a suburb of Kansas City, on the Kansas side at a little place called Lucia Beer Garden and Grill. And let me tell you, it's awesome. You guys are going to be on Mass Street in Lawrence, Kansas, which is University of Kansas, meaning it's a college town and meaning it's a party central. It is a great location. You guys are going to be here December 21st. I want to make sure all our local viewers and listeners are aware of that. So you guys going to be one of the great college towns in America here, Lawrence, Kansas.
I know. That's going to be great. We love that. We can't wait to just be in there and have a good time. Meet the people too. We love meeting the people.
You will meet the people, all right. And this is like the opposite of Spinal Tap, which is they had to cancel some shows because it wasn't a big college town. This is a big college town, so you're set in that regard.
Yeah. We did it.
What have you? I mean, do you have, Franco, kind of some moments here from this tour, some songs maybe from the album that you've been playing live that you didn't maybe get a chance to play on the stadium tour that you've been playing on this tour that have stood out, that it's like, man, this is like really hitting every night? I mean, maybe the title track. What are some songs that you've
playing? In this tour we get the chance to play the whole album, which is a great thing. So we definitely can test all of the songs. The ones that stood out for me are mostly I would say Made in Hell, Circles, Hunt and Love, stuff like that. We've been trying new stuff that hasn't been released yet. We play a few covers as well. Those do pretty well too. But I would say Made in Hell, Hunt and Love. People are like very pleasantly surprised with that. Mm-hmm.
I thought on the stadium tour that Made in Hell like went over, like it was kind of like one of those moments where like it just all kind of came together. It seemed like that was it. That was a big one. Well, and Haunting Love is such a great song that you guys do live. Haunting Love is great. The whole set. I mean, you guys, this is, I think, kind of a true testament to just the music industry and what it can do, and how, we always talk about, everything was so much better back in the day. But God, I mean, you had to go through like the Village Voice and the Recycler, and maybe Ace Frehley shows up, or maybe Mick Mars shows up and you join a band. But now there's so many other avenues. Do you feel like it's kind of easier now, Derek? And some ways more difficult because of the recording industry's changed so much, but easier to maybe unite with like-minded people to live this dream with?
Unite with like-minded people, meaning like other bands and other like music.
Just kind of like the way you guys were formed, like the band that you're in. I mean, the way that you guys kind of came together. Do you feel like it's because of technology and internet and things like that you're able to find more like-minded people in an easier way?
That's hard, man. Maybe not actually, because like Franco said earlier, this was a whole process. This was a painstaking process. Before me, there was they auditioned a couple of singers, and there was a couple of bass players, and there was like a couple of the guitar players and drummers even. There's like everyone. Okay. You meet them online, and then you're friends for a few months, and then you realize, oh man, you were like that online, damn it. And so like not in real life, it sucks. So like
okay.
It does help for sure. It does help. But I think it helps more in a monetary value or like in a more of a business sort of way. Like social media, it helps bring people together to create a project, but maybe not be brothers. And that's the cool thing about Classless Act. We really kind of, I think we like, what's the word? I'm thinking of like Star Wars when Luke, he blows up the Death Star and Han is like, great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. That's Classless Act. I feel like we somehow hit the mark right there. We're like, oh, we found people we actually love. Like we love each other. And that was through social media after a few other members too, of course. But like, we're like, oh man, but this is it. Like it's a real thing. So we got really lucky, I think.
That is wonderfully said. I think I completely see where you're coming from there. It's like the online date that finally hit home. You kind of, because at the beginning you're kind of describing my online dating life there from about 2015 to 2018. And
yeah, man.
I totally get it.
We're the ideal Tinder situation, man.
More like a Bumble situation.
Yeah, Bumble, more Bumble than anything else. Bunch of dudes.
Right.
Yeah. So it's Franco, that for you, like because I ask a lot of veteran artists, you see a lot of bands that, they don't have original members. You guys were out with, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Poison. And aside from Def Leppard having a member pass away, that's their classic lineup. You had Poison, that's their original members. Motley Crue, their original members until, very recently with Mick Mars. So, I ask bands like that, like, how important is it at your advanced stage, the older bands, like, that you're in bands with people that you like, that you care about? And for you guys are a younger band, but Franco, sounds like that you guys kind of have that already nailed down. That's half the battle, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in bands with people that I don't like too.
Oh,
so
that sucks.
Yes, yeah, it's actually pretty bad. So like when I broke up with that band, I was like, okay, this is never gonna happen to me again. Because I came from Argentina. I'm from Argentina. I came here like 5 years ago.
Wow.
With that band, and there were some issues, yada yada yada. And I met these guys, and everything flew pretty well, as you can see. But yeah, like, I mean, they too. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah. You guys, I can't thank you enough for the time. I know that on Friday, I think your next show is Friday the 16th here.
Yep.
Which is going to be at Syracuse, New York at the Lost Horizon. And again, the tour runs through December 31st at Beaumont's in San Diego. And then I got to remind people, December 21st, it's at the Lucia Beer Garden and Grill in Lawrence, Kansas. That's in our neck of the woods, guys. Cannot thank you enough for the time. It's really been a pleasure. And I'm so glad I got to see you guys. And I have the point of reference now to go off whenever I see you guys, hopefully here on the 21st. I'll be out there at the Lucia Beer Garden and Grill in Lawrence. Cannot wait to see you guys there. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Clint. Thanks for having us. And let's do it again.
Let's absolutely do it again. Continued success, guys. Love every bit of it. You guys are the best. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.